The sky was still gray when Mark opened his eyes. The corridor outside was already alive. Buckets scraping rough concrete floors. Doors banging open. Voices shouting from room to room. Someone's radio played softly in the distance. Mark sat up slowly and checked the small plastic clock beside his mattress. 6:12 a.m. He sighed. Science students suffered the most. Engineering students usually started lectures an hour later, but science lectures began by 8 a.m. sharp. Missing even one lecture this early in the semester could leave a student lost for weeks. Mark grabbed his towel and bucket. This was his life now. Wake up before sunrise. Queue for the showers. Fight for water. Rush to lectures. Repeat. Back home in Lagos, university life had sounded exciting. Nobody mentioned survival. The bathroom line stretched down the corridor. Students stood half awake with buckets, toothbrushes, soap dishes, towels hanging over shoulders. Steam drifted from the open shower area. Mark waited patiently. Finally, the current student finished bathing. Mark stepped forward. But before he could enter, another boy suddenly pushed past him and entered the shower stall. Mark froze. The boy was slim, dark-skinned, with sharp features that reminded Mark strangely of an actor he had once seen in an American film. He looked back casually while turning the tap. Mark frowned.
My guy, now my turn.
The boy ignored him. Mark stepped closer.
Hey man, I've been queuing. It's my turn. Besides, aren't you in engineering? You don't have lectures now, and I'm running late for mine.
The boy looked at him coldly. Just wait a bit longer then. Some boys nearby went quiet. Mark's expression changed immediately. Back in Lagos, disrespect had consequences. Without another word, Mark grabbed the boy by the shoulder and yanked him backward out of the shower stall. The corridor exploded. Buckets dropped. Students shouted. The boy immediately tried pushing back. But then he looked into Mark's eyes. And stopped. Something in Mark's face told him this was not going to become an easy fight. The boy adjusted himself and stepped back. You go pay for that. Mark laughed. Yeah. Right. Then entered the shower and pulled the curtain. To him, the boy was nothing special. Just another jambite. The rest of the morning went smoothly. Lectures. Gym. Lunch with Eli and a few new friends. Then later that evening, a party at Hall 2. By Friday afternoon, the entire campus already felt lighter. Music blasted from open windows. Girls moved around in groups, preparing for the evening. The smell of fried rice and cigarettes drifted through the hostels. For the first time since arriving at Uniben, Mark felt happy. More relaxed. Everything was going well. The Hall 2 recreational area buzzed with activity. Music. Table tennis. Card games. Students drinking and laughing loudly. Mark arrived first and looked around for Eli. That was when someone approached him. A calm voice. You be Lagos boy Abby? Mark turned. The speaker was slim, observant, confident without trying too hard. Older. Dangerous in a quieter way. My name is Kensula. Mark nodded carefully. I'm Mark. Yes, from Lagos. Kensula smiled faintly. I fit tell. He glanced briefly at Mark's chain. Then looked back up. This no be Lagos. His tone stayed calm. Almost friendly. For Uniben, you gats day careful how you move. Mark said nothing. Kensula continued. You day wear chain. Day move like say you own place. Then he smiled. No vex. Nah advice from big brother to small brother. He pointed toward a nearby table where 4 other boys sat drinking. Watching. Waiting. Anyway, me and my guys day thirsty. Pause. We need beer. Mark immediately understood. But still answered honestly. I no fit afford beer for everybody. The smile disappeared from Kensula's face. Not anger. Just disappointment. He leaned forward. Then came the sentence. Quiet. Simple. Cold.
You don't hear of confra?
Everything inside Mark tightened instantly. He remembered. Tiny. The frightened boy in the courtyard. The strange tension around certain students. Mark forced a smile. Beer is a bit expensive for me, but I can buy you guys minerals. Kensula smiled again. This time warmer. Cool. Mark hurriedly carried bottles of soda to the table. As he dropped them, he spotted Eli entering the recreational area. Mark immediately walked fast toward him. Bro. We need to leave here now. Eli frowned. Why? I'll explain outside. The urgency in Mark's voice immediately changed Eli's expression. Mark explained everything. The drinks. The threat. The word confra. Mark was furious. He felt violated. Nobody had ever bullied him like that before. Eli listened carefully. Then quietly said, I've also heard stories, too. There was a pause. You really don't want to mess with confra guys, Eli went on. For the first time, Mark realized how vulnerable he was. Despite everything, the night became incredible. Music. Dancing. Girls laughing. Students hanging from balconies. Generator-powered speakers shook the building. For a few hours, Mark forgot everything. 2:07 a.m. Mark returned exhausted to Hall 3. Finton, his roommate, looked up immediately. Finton adjusted his glasses. Some guys come look for you. Mark asked casually. Who? I don't know them. But one of them was big and dark-skinned. Mark's expression changed instantly. Round face? Finton nodded. Mark was silent. Mark sat upright on the bed. He thought to himself. Tiny? But why? Finton continued nervously. The big guy left his room number. Said to see tomorrow unfailingly. Mark stood immediately. No hesitation. He grabbed his shirt and began dressing again. Finton looked confused. Where are you going? Mark answered while putting on his shoes. If they return. He paused. Just say you haven't seen me. Finton looked puzzled but nodded. The campus was silent. Mark walked quickly through the darkness toward Hall 4. Toward Eli. The one person he knew had his back. And possibly, if you want to understand what really happened next, follow this story. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.